This is the third part of the topic, decoding the secret of humanity for easy tracking. If this is the first time you watch this content, it is best to watch the previous video is part 1. Decoding the truth about humanity, a perspective from history to modern society to explore human nature. Part 2, decoding the truth about humanity, delving into the nature of good and evil of humans. Video link I will leave in the comments section. This content can help you see through the nature of all the people around you. Part 3, I will talk about the topic of male and female feelings, a relatively sensitive topic, but also cannot be ignored. Why is it like that? We are often hurt by our own family, by friends, colleagues, and trusted relatives. Then our glass hearts are broken. There are girls who have been betrayed by their boyfriends, even thought about committing suicide, feeling that they have devoted a lot, but in return is only the indifference and betrayal of the other person, always feeling that what they do is never properly responded to. This is a type of disease called emotional spillover syndrome. People who focus too much on emotions always want to express their devotion to others. You yourself expressing your devotion is also a thing. But the problem is you also demand others to express their devotion like you. When they don't do the same, you immediately collapse. A lot moral reprimand, always use tears and saliva to curse the other person like ungrateful, indifferent, meaningless traitor. Makes yourself feel like you saved your ancestors 18 generations. Talk as if I've been so good to you. How can you treat me like this? What's the problem here? The problem is they never asked you to be devoted to them. It's just you being sentimental and self-judging and hoping that others will respond. Otherwise, you will be hurt and sad. Isn't this the behavior of creating a family game in your head like a child? Did you give me a candy? You want me to give you two? If you don't give it to me, you will cry and denounce to the whole world that I'm indifferent, meaningless. The problem is who told you to give me a candy. Isn't it because you yourself voluntarily follow or some ancient wisdom? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. When seeing many people living for emotions and social relationships that feel confused and worried, I am willing to share my many years of training experience with everyone. First of all, I am not a god, although I have an extremely strong mentality, but what I say is not the truth. The universe, and of course, cannot avoid shortcomings. Life still needs you to contemplate for yourself. I am just sharpening a sharp knife to give you, but whether to use it or not and how to use it is up to you to decide. Together, look through the conspiracies behind male and female emotions. First, believe in emotions. Suffer a lifetime. You talk about emotions with people around you. You will find they talk about money with you. When you do not talk about emotions, but only work, you will see everyone around you talk about emotions except parents. All other emotions are a performance. You just need to provide enough benefits for others to perform without getting tired. You are hurt by others. Do not blame anyone. Blame yourself. You can't see through yourself. Look at people with depression. Who isn't hurt by family, friendship, or love? Don't waste time doubting other people's feelings for you, because the result will disappoint you. Because everyone who talks about feelings for you revolves around their own interests. Sometimes, even your parents are the same. Why do they want you to get married soon? Because they want to hug porridge early to make themselves happy. Why do they want you to marry someone close to home? Because they can rely on you for everything. Why did they give birth to you? Because they themselves are happy. Ask yourself, did you give birth to your children because your children are happy? Or because you are happy yourself? If it's because your children are happy, please ask if you asked for their opinions. Did you accidentally bring them into this world because you were comfortable and unintentionally brought them into this world? A student told me that her husband treated her very badly, but her parents wouldn't let her divorce because it would embarrass the family. You see, she sacrificed her daughter's lifelong happiness just for herself. Don't lose face. Then say we do everything for your benefit. You remember, all those who say I do everything for your benefit are essentially for their own benefit. Family, friendship, love are all like that. Second, believe in love. Pain a lifetime. Do men have true love? Don't be naive. 2 men say the main wife is worse than the concubine. Concubine is worse than the lover. Lover is worse than those who are not lovers. Every man has the desire to have many concubines, and every woman has a beautiful dream to exclusively own a certain man. The nature of men liking new things, bored with old things, is their nature. The clothes that you used to like are now thrown away, right? If you don't eat delicious food, then eat it every day. Are you bored? Marriage is actually against human nature, because human nature is to like new, hate old, greed insatiable. How can you only love one person for life? The scary thing is that you still believe in love when getting married. People shouldn't say things like whether poor or rich. I will never now leave you those kind of tasteless words. Should say I will fight against my ego's instinct to resist love you forever. Sounds funny, right? Even the most beautiful woman over a long time will feel bland. So facing the nature of liking new, hating old, greedy, and insatiable of human, to not get hurt in love, the core is not to invest all your feelings in one person. Always monitor your level of emotional investment. If you see you have invested 100 degrees, be brave to reduce the temperature 60 degrees, to cold 100 degrees, to hot 80 degrees to protect yourself. If you love someone very much, learn to subtract. Find a few other friends. Transfer part of your feelings to other people. Plant some flowers and grass with your own interests. Try not to put your feelings into living things, because living things will change, will die, then you will be sad and miserable endlessly. For example, if you raise a dog and love it very much, then you have already determined your suffering, because the dog will definitely die one day, or get sick, will die, and the degree of change in humans is 10,000 times more serious than dogs. Do you dare to deeply love someone? Do you know how dangerous that is? When a man clearly does not love you, does not propose to break up or divorce, he says he loves you, but behind your back he does things that hurt you. In fact, he does not love you. He just does not want to lose the foolish woman who loves him. While enjoying your love, he still thinks he deserves someone better. This is called the typical example of riding a donkey to find a horse. It's just that his current conditions do not allow him to throw away this donkey. But when the conditions are ripe, he will raise both the donkey and the horse. The donkey works for him. The horse takes him sightseeing. So love goes away. Don't be blinded by feelings. Third, believe in a lover. Sad for a lifetime. Someone asked me if a man really loves his lover. I replied to her, do you know what a lover is? It's a type of relationship that cannot be made public, does not dare to bring it to light, does not dare to let others know, a type of secret relationship. Men looking for lovers are all because of loneliness and emptiness. There's no real love. Men are just pursuing lust, just want to have free sleep, all just to solve physiological needs. This kind of love chases the excitement and novelty of sneaking around. The most important thing is not to take any responsibility. He doesn't love you. He just hates being tied down in marriage and relationships. Lovers don't have to care about anything, don't take responsibility. Men won't take the initiative to break up with you, afraid that if you persist, they will slowly become cold to you, making you tired. When men have an affair, finding a lover only has to state, never and countless times. So don't expect this kind of man to be faithful to you. Women who are emotionally trapped always say that men are cruel in extramarital relationships. They just want to satisfy their physical desires. There's no real emotional investment here. I have to defend men with one sentence. In fact, men are both profound and long-lasting. It's just that they are more rational because they can love their lover deeply, but only have long-term love for their wife, actually. This mood is very contradictory because he craves your love, but wants your love to be stable. You can be attached, but not affect his family. You can love deeply but not affect his marriage. To put it more cruelly, when I'm free, I'll be by your side. When I'm busy, you also have to endure. What if you accidentally become someone else's lover? Don't hope for true love. Learn how to use a man's resources if the man has status and position. Use his relationships. First, earn a large sum of money for yourself. When the day comes to break up, you won't be left empty-handed and have nothing left. But everything can be used except survival and benefits. Other things in this life are not a problem, especially love. It's just a game between men and women played for fun. Who told you to be serious? The real masters are all in love without being moved. You look at successful businessmen. Most of them can easily retreat in love, but most women easily fall into it and cannot free themselves. This is because they do not grasp the purpose and measure correctly, or in other words, they have too little experience. When a woman is difficult to move, congratulations. You have reached the pinnacle of life, because the masters all use emotions without letting emotions control them. Why can Wuzishan become a lifelong queen? Because she does not love men. She only uses men. This is called having no desire will be strong. So women should be independent. Who loves who suffers, who is moved, who is heartbroken. Next, listen carefully. I will talk about 3 methods to help foolish men and resentful women escape the sea of love. Number 1, do not expect love from anyone. Men's judgmental. Love is often because women are born beautiful. Women's deep love is often because of men. You have money, you are not unlucky with women. You are not rich, many men are hurt by women. Very painful. Actually, your pain is not because of that woman, but because your wallet is not enough to find more women. A man does not lack women. How can he be hurt? You ask if a person like Ronaldo is often hurt by feelings. A person is hurt by something because he values it too much. Why do you value it? Because you are too needy. That is the nature of people who value feelings too much. In the end, life will not easily trust dependence. Remembering the past in just a moment can make you suffer with no way out. This life, all the depression and loneliness is basically due to lack of money and lack of love. But lack of love is essentially lack of money. It is an external thing. Whether or not money is a necessary thing you cannot help but want. A student asked me what to do when my girlfriend broke up with me. What method should I use to win her back? I really don't know what to say. I told you to chase her away. Follow women to do what? You should pursue a career. When you conquer a career, naturally there will be a bunch of women chasing you. This is simple. But unfortunately many men do not understand this. The man in the heart still lingers. Love the sea dries up. The rock wears away. That man this life is no longer of great benefit. All those who do great things must have one characteristic, which is extreme rationality. It does not matter what your other half is like. You just work hard to earn money and you will be in charge. Whatever she does, all relationships will end. Only your wallet is trustworthy. You know why do poor people grow old together? Not because they do not have the capital to change the other side. Women who are not attractive enough feel that men are promiscuous. Men with too little strength feel that women are pragmatic. Some people, the further away from you, it is not because you did something wrong, but because they do not need you anymore. The past they communicate with you frankly is just a relationship of interests, but you consider it as feelings. If a woman tells you that I don't care, you don't have money, I'm not a materialistic woman. You don't have money, I still love you like that. You just need to listen, don't believe. Definitely don't believe. These words said just like you say she's fat, ugly, sloppy, I still love you like that, is the same meaning. In principle, moral reasoning, everyone can grit their teeth and say they still love like that, but the body and eyes are very sincere. You can't lie to yourself. What is the premise of fidelity in marriage? Is the issue of being able to satisfy each other or not? The core nature of the marriage system is to serve social development, provide a stable workforce, not because of love. Marriage law has never required people to get married because of love. It's just that people think marriage is a necessary result of love. The value of marriage is to integrate resources. Marrying the wrong person and not marrying anyone is not the core nature of marriage. New economy is why when in love it's beautiful. But when married it's not beautiful anymore. Because when in love can satisfy each other, then can be loyal forever. So I say a man is always in the process of development. If the woman cannot keep up, being eliminated is just a matter of time. A woman is always developing. If the man does not develop, being eliminated is also inevitable. What is the relationship between men and women? Essentially, is the relationship between trees and vines. Men are trees, women are vines. If the tree is big but the vine is not big, then this tree will be wrapped by other vines. If the vine is big but the tree is not big, that vine will wrap around another tree. That is the law of nature. Currently, the problem of men cheating is considered serious, but are women cheating less? Why? What is the root cause of cheating? What is the idea that you can blame them? Why is it just that your wall is too low when you reach a higher level, higher ability, higher wealth? Can they get out? They want to get out but can't because of the low height of the base. Don't say it's a vine. Even the vine can still climb out to the center of the family, not the feelings, but the economy. When your money is not enough, you absolutely do not need to care too much about the relationship between husband and wife, family feelings, extramarital affairs, familiar feelings. You just need to focus on your business. Remember that using money to talk about feelings with them will be more effective than using words to express your feelings with them. Do not make yourself too sentimental. What they need is not you, but your money. Number 2, do not expect morality from anyone. Increase the number 1 official of the state at the end of the Than dynasty. Whether in behavior or work, knowledge or qualities, they are completely worthy of being an example for posterity. But in reality, when he first started working as an official, he did not do very well and almost met with unkind eyes everywhere in the court, because he not only limited himself with morality, but also had very high expectations of the morality of others. Other officials only needed to make a small mistake in their working style. He would sue them in front of the emperor. Today he sued people. This tomorrow sue that person, causing almost everyone to dislike him. They even gathered together to fight against him. Zheng Guoyuan was extremely resentful at that time, not understanding why he was full of integrity, clean and pure. But in the end he was taken advantage of by everyone. He had a difficult time. After that, he began to self-examine himself and finally understood the Taoist ideology of extremely soft, not very soft, extremely hard, not hard. From there, he built a principle of life, using the softest thing in the world to control the hardest thing. Everything only needed good results. The process had some mistakes and loopholes. It didn't matter how others worked and their methods. Even though it was hard for him to accept, he wouldn't interfere. If someone intentionally made things difficult for him, he would be patient. If someone stabbed him in the back, as long as it wasn't fatal injury, he wouldn't investigate and heal himself. He ignored it and didn't expect morality from anyone. He just focused on helping the emperor solve his difficulties. After a long time, everyone discovered that Zheng Guofan had changed and was no longer this annoying hedgehog. Enemy also gradually disappeared, and his trust and prestige in the eyes of the emperor were gradually built. When you understand that human nature is selfish, every action, every word, everyone revolves around self-interest, you will naturally let go. As long as you expect morality from others, you will definitely be hurt. Men say, I will love you for life. Women say, even if poor, sick, I will never leave. My children say I will definitely be filial to my parents when I grow up. Employees say I will forever be grateful to the boss. Boss says you will always be my brother. These words, if you believe, you will soon be hurt in front of those benefits, are all fairy tales. If not, then it is because the benefits are not big enough. I am not telling you not to talk about morality, but not to expect others to treat you morally. People only have morality with themselves. Use morality to bind yourself, not to bind others to have morality with you. That is true morality. Use morality to bind others to have morality with you. That is unethical. Number 3, don't always build yourself a facade of being a good person. Yesterday a friend called me and said that his brother-in-law had previously borrowed 50 million to do business. Then his father-in-law became seriously ill. He paid tens of millions of hospital bills by himself. After his father-in-law passed away, he told his mother-in-law and brother-in-law whether this medical expense should be split in half. The result was his mother-in-law scolded him, saying that the son-in-law was too cold. Spending money on his father-in-law and still calculating, he went home and told his wife. The result was his wife also blamed him. Why was he so stingy? My brother can't make money in business. Being a son-in-law, is my father not his father? After hearing that, he was completely confused. Why was the money I paid for? But I was the one being scolded. A few days later, he thought about it and decided that for the medical expenses, I would pay myself, but the money I lent my brother-in-law to do business, I had to pay it back. So he told his wife to tell her mother and brother, Let me take care of the medical expenses. But the 50 million my brother borrowed before to do business, you have to pay it back to him. But after hearing that, your wife got angry and scolded. You only think about money. Isn't my brother your brother? Now that he's having a hard time making money and can't make money, you still ask for money. Is that what a human thing to do? The two of them argued until the evening. The phone call from mother-in-law to mother-in-law scolded him. Don't worry, this old woman, even if she has to sell her blood, will pay you back. Don't force my son anymore. I married my daughter to you for so many years. A few tens of millions is not worth it. Your friend completely collapsed that night, calling me to ask me how to solve it. I said, for money, then cut off contact with the whole family. He said, how can I do it? After all, it's a family. If they don't take it anymore, then that's it. But now the whole family says I'm stingy and have opinions about me. What should I do to make them no longer have opinions about me? I said. Why do you have to make them no longer have opinions about you? You want to show that you're a good person in the eyes of others so much, aren't you tired? He said, family. Relationships are very important. Must maintain good relationships between family members. But I see that he is too immersed, so I give my opinion. In reality, many people are entangled by emotions, bound by family relationships, by the desire to always be a good person. The result is that they are tired, but do not receive any compliments. The reason is very simple. Those who consider you good, even if you are good 10 times, not good 5 times, they still think you are good. But for those who consider you bad, even if you are good 100 times, you cannot fix that one bad thing in their eyes. So what should you do? Don't try to change their view of you. Stay away from them. Be tougher on them. You are not a good person to everyone, even your family. I never like to claim to be a good person, because if you are not good once, all your previous good things will be dismissed by them. Forgive them that you are a bad person in their eyes. When you are good once, they will feel that it is a surprise. Most people are sad because they have given but not received anything in return commensurate. So the best way is not to spend anything like that. Even if they curse me, I am not sad. The most fearful thing is that I have spent, but still get cursed. Besides my parents, with anyone. I am good to you once, you respond well to me, can be my best friend. I am good to you once, you don't respond, can be my friend away. I am good to you once, you don't respond and curse me behind my back, block me. No matter who it is. People bully the weak and fear the strong, even your loved ones. Don't waste time maintaining meaningless relationships. Take the time to become stronger. Next part. Let me show you how to train an incredibly strong mentality. So what is an incredibly strong mentality? I define it as follows. First, don't rely on any external factors to seek confidence. Rich not arrogant, poor not discouraged, lost not disappointed, gain not complacent. Second, people are not gods. Everyone can make mistakes. When doing wrong, try your best to fix it. No need to regret all your life. Tormenting yourself is pointless, meaning what has happened cannot be changed. Do not regret the past in vain. This is a necessary factor to have a strong mentality. Third, no matter who you lose, you are still you. You are the only one. Not because anyone leaves your life, your spirit will decline. This is the third standard. Emotional, not depending on anyone, but still independent and perfect. Stand strong. Fourth, do not care about any negative comments from others. For positive compliments, happily accept them, but do not let yourself be fooled by them. See clearly the purpose of the person complimenting you, what they want. These are the necessary standards to have a strong mentality. Maybe more will be added later, but for now, there are only a few things I note. This content is mainly for normal people with a mentality that is not strong. If you are a person with extremely strong 3 views, then you can also refer to it. Whether your 3 views are right or wrong, if you are steadfast on your path, you are already a strong person. Right or wrong will be reflected clearly. Whether you will live happily or not is up to you to bear. No need to argue with me. Learn my secret. I do not dare to guarantee anything else, but at least in your life, you will no longer be sad. Be confused, no longer suffer because of love, no longer cry because must fail. all negative emotions will leave you. The above points seem simple and true TNG, but doing them is a great knowledge. I will analyze more deeply so that everyone understands clearly. I will start with the topic that everyone is most interested in: love. I will show you how to face difficulties and obstacles in these aspects. I always speak frankly and accurately. Go straight to the essence of the problem, that the truth is often like cold iron. 1,000 years of darkness and coldness cannot be shaken. If you are a sensitive person and cannot stand it, then do not read on. What is love? From ancient times to the present, the debate about this never stops. I define what love is. Love is desire with a shadow. It is a game between intelligence, emotions, appearance, finance, and many other factors. This game lasts no more than a year, usually just a few months, with the ultimate goal of seducing the other person to go to bed. That is the nature of love, a game with the motivation of lust. Anyone who has ever played it knows the feeling of excitement when meeting the other person in the burning stage of love. First holding hands, first kissing, first doing something that makes your heart beat so hard. Just a few days without seeing each other makes you restless, as Fan Trong Jiang said, scratching the itch of the soul, walking around the floor, stepping on the door sill, scratching the window sill. Just occasionally the phone cannot be contacted. Text messages are not replied. You start to worry and speculate whether the other person is happy with someone else. These are the symptoms of love. But between couples, no matter how good the feelings are, just after being married for more than half a year, have you seen any couple with these symptoms? This reveals a cold truth that all relationships between people in this world are essentially an exchange of benefits. These benefits are not just financial, but also emotional and moral satisfaction. This is a complex concept that I will explain in detail later. Love between husband and wife, siblings, relatives, friends, and even part of the relationship between parents and children is also within this framework. Those who want to object should look carefully before criticizing. I am only saying that part of the parent-child relationship, not all of it. In fact, the rest of the parents' love for their children is true and extremely pure love that deserves respect. This is no exception for anyone. Back to the issue of love. As said, love is a battle of wits or a game, so of course there will be winners and losers. The standard for winning and losing depends on your original purpose when starting this relationship. Different purposes. The standard for judging winning and losing is also different. Not every time you marry the other person, you win. It is not true that if you are abandoned by the other person for someone else, you lose. Bad luck can come from luck. The person you get can be a useless person, while the person you lose leaving can be a troublemaker for life. In summary, losing can be a good thing when you get rid of someone who can cause you pain for life without bringing any joy. Suppose you start a relationship with the intention of getting married, but then both of you can't save it and have to break up. The standard of winning and losing at this time is as follows. Who is so miserable that he can't eat or sleep, even self-torture or commit suicide? That person is the loser. Who is the one who leaves comfortably, quickly escapes the darkness and lives happily? That person is the winner. Remember the third standard that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Don't depend on anyone emotionally, but must be independent and complete. Stand firm. You can say this sounds simple, but it's not easy to do. Feelings are not a machine. How can you turn on or off at will? It's actually very simple. You need to remember from the first day of starting a relationship. Remind yourself that the other person can leave you at any time for any reason. This idea needs to be a constant reminder. You may think that this will prevent you from experiencing true love, that it is emotional deception, but you are wrong. I have not taught you another trick. That is self-hypnosis. How to do this? Self-hypnosis is really a great skill that is not easy to teach you guys. Stay awake. You are having the opportunity to master a powerful tool that can be seen as casting an unbreakable sword in the mind. Simply, self-hypnosis is similar to the way talented actors completely immerse themselves in the inner world of the character, from which they truly express the transformation of the character's emotions. Some actors play the tragic role too, the point of being unable to escape the character, leading to depression and even suicide. This proves that the emotions after self-hypnosis are very real. All these emotions are real. However, when it comes to the essence, it is more complicated. You need to have the courage and vision to see your whole life as a play in which all the sadness and joy are just you acting and experiencing at times. This is a high-level content offense that is not appropriate to say now. I just mentioned it. Briefly, no need to pay too much attention now. Perhaps you understand what I mean. You always prepare for the possibility of breaking up. It does not mean that you are not allowed to engage in love and love. If you cannot become strong enough to live single and happy all your life, then when you are young, if you do not love passionately once, how can you become someone like me? With this strength and vision, you will also lack a profound experience in life. When you get old, what will you recall? The problem is how to engage in love and love without being deeply hurt, while still being able to experience intense love. First, you need to determine that the other person is the right person to play this risky love game with you. For example, he is quite handsome, gentle, thoughtful, has a little money, or she is very beautiful, has a charming appearance and a gentle personality. After determining that you really like that person, you can start loving he or she, love like others. He cares for you so much, you miss him so much, you both can give so much to each other. All is fine in this state of mind. You will definitely experience all kinds of emotions and shocks of love, missing, unrequited. Jealousy, silent cares bring warmth. A small gift makes you extremely happy. A wrong word leads to a fierce argument. Then reconcile, then hug each other crying. All these things you can experience. You may say that this is no different from others, but I tell you, as long as you remember the following things in this love, you will be different from others. No matter what the outcome, you are the winner and will not be hurt. First, from the first day of meeting, always remember that at any time, for any reason, this relationship can completely fall apart. Second, this is a game. If he does not betray you, you'll always follow him. If he denies you, then the game ends here. You will not play anymore. However, you also have to truly invest your feelings in this game and not cheat on your feelings. You may get hurt, you may be sad, but remember you are just an actor, and this game can end at any time. These emotions you may experience, but when the play ends, you must immediately retreat. Third, before marriage, girls should not give themselves over. I am not a virginist. I am just coming from the perspective of benefits. Here's Vietnam, girls. If you want to increase your value and have an advantage in the game of love and marriage, then keeping your self-respect will be beneficial. The most important thing is, if you do not give yourself over, you will be easier to retreat. If after all I have said, you still do not understand, let me give you an example. Suppose you find an ambiguous message in his phone. What should you do? You say you are learning to be mentally strong, so you do not care. You are wrong. At this time, you are an actor in this play. Your reason will tell you that your role should express moderate anger, questioning him and based on his reaction, to decide how to continue acting. At this time, you really need to mobilize your emotions. You can even show anger and grit your teeth. However, deep down, in addition to these emotions, you should remember that this is just a card that you have to play in the game of love. According to the rules, deep down in your heart, there's no anger. You seem to be pulling yourself out of the game and looking at yourself and the other person arguing. Next, I will continue to discuss love. First of all, I would like to emphasize that teaching you to self-hypnotize and use the psychology of an actor to face love is not teaching you to play with friendship. You need to have the professional ethics of an actor. If the other person treats you well and sincerely dedicates himself, you should also respond accordingly. But it is still the old saying that girls should not easily use their bodies to respond to the other person's financial contributions. Otherwise, you may lose because there are some very good at pretending. This will open up many topics about men. I apologize to everyone, but I just want to tell the truth. Hope there will be less naive women falling into the trap later. Maybe. I will also talk about how men can avoid being fooled by women. Very fair, right? How much can a man pretend? He will take care of you wholeheartedly, but very properly. Not too much. When you are sick, he will ask to bring you food and medicine. When the weather changes, He will remind you to wear more clothes. When you are sad, he will gently comfort you. What do you need? If he has enough money, he will try to buy it for you. When you are capricious, he will be tolerant, not argue with you. Even when you don't want to be close, he will not show annoyance, but just say he loves you. He can take you. In short, when you date him, you will feel very comfortable and secure, even gradually depend on him, and then maybe you will be far from the net. Cannot leave him. How many girls have fallen into the trap of such people? Of course, I am not saying that all men with the above expressions are pretending. There are also those who are truly devoted and truly want to live with you for the rest of their lives. I am only referring to those who in their hearts do not want to be with you for the rest of their lives, but show such care just to trick you into bed. All their actions are means, and the ultimate goal is sex. So you will ask how to distinguish. See if the other person really wants to be with you for the rest of their lives. Sorry, but a man is willing to use all tricks to trick you into bed. With such sophistication and intelligence, a young girl can hardly distinguish. So how to avoid being fooled so as not to lose physical youth and not be seriously hurt? You need to remember two very important things. One is at any time, do not easily completely trust anything someone says. This applies to all relationships, especially big things, even when you see it with your own eyes. You have to confirm it again, to say it in a not very nice way. Sometimes even parents can lie to you with good intentions, let alone other people. Secondly, in this world, there is no love or hatred without reason. If others are good to you, they certainly want to receive something from you. The above two principles are immutable laws. If you always remember and follow these two things, it will be difficult for others to deceive you. But no matter how good, the theory is, each person understands and applies it at different levels. If you are still deceived of something, such as money, youth, or body, what should you do? This is the time to return to our main problem: how to build an incredibly strong spirit. This is our ultimate goal. I am not just teaching you how to love or find a husband and wife. We are not saints. We cannot live like they hook to means, living a pure life without worldly dust. Therefore, it is difficult to avoid male-female relationships and feelings unless you do not touch it. Once you get involved, it is difficult not to be hurt. It is just a matter of how much or how little. You are hurt. Stop rolling around in life. It is difficult to avoid worldly entanglements. Anyway, most of us are ordinary people. It is difficult to keep our hearts pure like a mirror. What we need to do is try not to let those things touch our hearts. Once we have a strong spirit, we will no longer be afraid of emotional pain. That is the right path. Actually, it may sound boring to say, but even if there is a man or woman who really wants to live with you for the rest of their lives, the nature of that relationship is still an exchange of benefits. Let me emphasize again, benefits are not limited to property, but also include joys in life, emotional comfort, moral satisfaction, etc. Marriage as a social system, its nature is to live together, to get through the day, helping each other, complement each other's strengths. Only men need to release their desires and have children. In this, they require women to have good appearance and health. They need someone to take care of logistics. This requires women to have good morals. Then they can feel secure to go out, to work to earn money. Like in primitive times, they can feel secure to go hunting. The nature is the same. Women need men to provide material support, spiritual comfort, protect their sense of security. Of course, women also need to relieve their desires and give birth to children. But this level is gentler than men. That is the nature of the exchange of benefits. Men provide what women need, and vice versa. Women provide what men need. Both feel that the other side can bring benefits that match their wishes. Then fine. Let's shake hands and complete this transaction. That is, get married. Why talking about love must talk about benefits? That is to remind you that whether you are in the passionate love stage or have just passed this stage and are about to get married, you always need to remember that he is just an object that meets the standards of exchanging benefits in your heart. The love game is short. You have played your best. You have tasted all the sweetness and bitterness of love. The condition is that you have played the role in a self-hypnotic way which I have instructed. Not really sinking, cannot get out. Then from here, Continue to follow the rules of the game and continue to exchange benefits with each other. He can provide you financial support. You reciprocate with emotional comfort and care. Or vice versa. He can comfort and care for you emotionally, and you reciprocate with financial support. Of course, there is physical comfort to. Now let's talk about the difference between a bad man and a normal man wants to live well with you. The worst one, regardless of beauty, ugly, rich, poor, his only goal is to get you into bed. This type is easy to spot. You just don't let him achieve his goal. He will quickly lose patience and change target. Another type of bad man, more hateful, are those who are completely immature, irresponsible. They don't even know what their next step is, no plan for their future life. Only think about flirting with women and getting them into bed. They are like the worst type of man, but have a little better control over the issue of marriage. Or unwanted pregnancy is not in their scope of concern. When you talk about the future and life after marriage, they will be vague or say completely unrealistic words, like if they want to become a millionaire. It is easy, just wait. They will support you. With people like that, it is best to stay away because they are just a waste of time. A good man, no matter how old he is, rich or poor, needs to be responsible. When responsible, they will not act deviated whether in love or marriage. They will know how to invest emotions and efforts. You should observe how they treat people every day to evaluate their attitude towards their parents. If it is too bad, that it is not acceptable. This shows that they lack humanity. If they are too filial to the extreme, you should also stay away because in their hearts, parents are heaven, and you are forever the last in the order of priority. Such an exchange of benefits is no longer balanced. Not to say that filial piety is not good, but it is not possible blindly filial and lacking in the ability to distinguish right from wrong. This shows that the man is immature and has no opinions. In addition, look how he treats his friends. Does he value his promises? But he is not stupidly keeping them. He stubbornly follows them without distinguishing right from wrong. He needs to have his own principles. What should be done, and what should not be done. No matter how good his friends are, they should not do it. If they often go out to help others fight, then avoid it. In addition, look how he treats people of lower status in society. It is not required that he must be a benevolent person, but at least he should not look down on or speak rudely to people serving sanitation workers or beggars. No matter how good a man is, there is a limit. Next is whether he is willing to spend money reasonably on you. If he has extra money, but is stingy and does not want to spend it on you, you should leave him immediately. There is no need to say much, but note that this is the money he earns, okay? Not forced money from parents or borrowing everywhere without being able to pay, and then buying expensive gifts for you. This shows immaturity. When you have understood these things and applied my self-hypnosis method to love, even get married and have children, basically you will not be deceived or hurt. Even if you are hurt, it will only be emotional hurt because you know that it is all just an exchange of benefits, and you do not invest much benefit compared to the other person emotionally. You also always keep your cool and observe that you are playing a role. How can you be seriously hurt? Some people will say that I met a man. He completely fits the standards you set for a good man, but the result is still being deceived. I went to bed and then got dumped. How to explain this? Then I congratulate you. You have met a master. People like that can play a role for life until they get bored and still not leave the role. The scariest thing is they always act both in front of and behind your back. When you meet someone like that, you consider yourself to have won the jackpot. This type of man is very rare. It is lucky for him to leave you early. If he has lived with you for many years of marriage, playing the role of a good husband and father for more than 10 years, and then one day has a child who comes to you to ask for money for college, wouldn't you be so shocked that you bleed on the spot? When you meet a bad person, whether married or not, you just need to rely on the third principle. No matter who you lose, you are still yourself. You are the only one. You will not leave your life for anyone. Your spirit is lost at all. That is the third principle of being independent and perfect emotionally, not depending on anyone. Strong and resilient. Nowadays, there are many young girls who like older single men or married men. There are two main reasons. One is the lack of fatherly love and family warmth. Two is because of money. We have not discussed those who like for money, but let's talk about those who like for feelings. Men, single older men are usually mature and thoughtful. At least on the surface they look like that. They have much better financial resources than young men, and their caring skills have been honed through many other women. When they start to care about young girls who lack love and life experience, it's hard for these girls to resist. There's nothing to blame because, after all, they are monogamous men. As long as he doesn't intend to play around, you can try to start this relationship. However, what I want to say is that you must see clearly the true face of that older man. Some of them are just middle-aged wolves who are only interested in your common young body and are very good at hiding it, making it difficult to recognize. In fact, when young girls fall in love with older men, the risk is really not small because your life experience and maturity level are far different from his. He lies and hides it from you. It's not easy to detect. But you can't generalize everything like that because if you're in love and about to fall in love, how can you tell young girls stop at all? That is not realistic. Among older men, there are also those who truly love you, want to spend their whole life with you. With girls who love older men for affection, I hope you can do the following points. Do not depend too much on older men, even though you are young, but you are already an adult. You need to have your own opinion. Putting your happiness in the hands of others is not trustworthy, even if that person is really kind to you. There may be times when they are affected by factors beyond your control. If he leaves you, this is even more true, because people are very changeable. Who can always keep the feeling like when they first met forever? That is impossible. The passion will decrease. Your happiness must be held in your own hands. Speaking of this, some people may think that then I will try to earn a lot of money, so that happiness is in my own hands. But that is not what I mean by that. Money, if it can be earned through legitimate means, then the more the better. But that is not the truth. The ultimate guarantee of happiness. The ultimate guarantee of happiness is independence and a healthy personality, because whether it is money or people, you cannot hold them forever. There are too many reasons that can make you lose these things. Others can voluntarily leave you, or even due to illness or an unexpected incident. Life is full of impermanence. You never know when fate will take something away from you. These things are not something you can fight against with effort. What we can achieve through effort is to make our minds stronger, more rational. I have emphasized many times that do not depend on anyone emotionally, but be independent, complete, and strong. Stand firm. The meaning of this sentence is, once fate cruelly takes away your lover or property, you must enter this state. Otherwise, you will not be able to continue living happily. So how to achieve this? As I said above, it is a great technique. Self-hypnosis and detachment of yourself to act out a play means, even when you are living in the most beautiful and happiest moments, deep down in your soul, you must constantly remind yourself that the loved ones around you can leave you forever at any time, not just death, but of course also includes death. If you find this unlucky, then don't continue watching. I said I speak very frankly and coldly. Even when you are alone, you can hypnotize yourself into a completely lonely person without any relatives, friends, or lovers. You must constantly prepare yourself mentally for that situation. If that happens, how can you be strong and happy to live on? This is one of the practical ways to do this. Looking at it this way, it seems cruel. Some people may say this is a manifestation of a mental illness, living well like that. Why do you have to think about such unlucky things? Okay, you may not think about it, but if that really happens, then why does life develop according to the wave model? After the deep trough, there will be a peak high, and after the peak, there will be a deep bottom. Who can live happily forever on the crest of the wave? It is a rare thing. We have practiced thousands of times in our minds that, losing everything, we can still live on and live strongly like that. We can have a part of the psychological stability, strong like a lone wolf. No matter how difficult it is, we must live on. When there is warmth, love, and affection, we must open our hearts to receive and enjoy them and respond to them. But once that person is no longer there, we must have full mental preparation, because in our minds, we already know that this day will come. When I read this content, I spent effort to type each word. And what is our ultimate goal? Don't forget, that is to have an unparalleled strong mentality, regardless of all the praise and criticism of the world, regardless of how many people leave, regardless of all the suffering that comes, regardless of the success or failure of our lives. We can act regardless of the results, but our souls must be steadfast and unwavering. That is the core goal. Our core content about emotions is mainly told from the perspective of women, which seems unfair to men, but the reason is because men are usually more rational and rarely get lost in emotions. Even when they get caught up, they usually get out on their own. Although it may take time and effort that should be spent on starting a business or learning money-making skills. I also want to say a few words to the guys to back off and calmly observe yourself. What is the biggest motivation for you to pursue a girl? Is it wanting to go to bed with her? The promise is to take care of and protect her. Do you have the ability to do it? Do you know how dangerous society is? How many forces that you can't resist can easily break your relationship with her? Do you dare to guarantee that your heart will not change? Don't make promises when you are not sure and then push the girl into a miserable situation, even causing her to have an abortion. Do you know how harmful abortion is to the body? If you really love her, improve yourself, master more social skills and resources, then you will be more confident when exchanging benefits with others. These are for immature boys who are attracted to love but lack responsibility. Those who really value love should also pay attention to what I said above. In this world, there is no goddess. Little dragon girl is just a character in a literary work. The innocent girl is simply because she is young and has not experienced many things. When she grows up, she will become more realistic, no exception. Look at all the middle-aged women around you, whether they are beautiful or ugly, elegant or ordinary. Who among them is innocent? They are all full of calculations, relying on money and property to strengthen their self-esteem and confidence. When they are young, they are also innocent girls. But the innocent girl in your mind will become a frivolous middle-aged woman in the future. Don't cherish illusions anymore. Try to improve yourself and earn more money. Use those benefits to choose someone later. High-quality women are the way to go. If you have strong finances, the time it takes for your woman to become normal will be extended. And even if you always have money, she will probably stay elegant forever.